So this lady here is like one of my absolute best friends in the whole wide world. Aww. And yeah, it's Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone.
I especially asked Sarah to come on to have a chat today about something that's really, really, it's a very sensitive subject for you, isn't it? And well, let's just start by, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Gosh, I hate talking about myself, but go on, I'll do it for you anyway. So I am 47 just, and even just saying that out loud, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really old. I'm not. At least I used to think people in their 40s were old when I was younger. But anyway, I'm 47. I've been married to Dean for 7 years. I met him about 10 years ago. So quite late on in my adult life, if you like. I have 2 stepchildren. This is their home as much as they're home with their mummies. I'm from Manchester, and I'm trying really hard not to slip into an accent.
Although Sarah and I like talking like we're real Northerners.
So, and I'm really trying not to slip into that, but I'll be professional. So I'm from Manchester originally. I moved down to Oxford about, I think it's about 22 years ago. And that's how we met, I suppose, is that I moved down here. But yeah, I moved down here after university. Here I am, still 22 years later, having got, I suppose, quite attached to Oxford, the friendships, and I loved Oxford. Like, if you've not been to Oxford, you need to go to Oxford. It's lovely.
Tell me about your life here in Toaster with Dean.
We had this compromise when we very first met, because obviously we wanted to be a bit closer together and spend more time with each other, as you do in those early stages. Sorry, I slipped into Northern accent again then.
Sorry about your accent, your beautiful accent.
So I moved over halfway. We met halfway originally, before we got married, it's about 9 years ago. I moved halfway, so I like gradually started to move a bit more over to Northamptonshire. And then I just took the plunge and we moved to Toaster, where we are now.
So who lives in this house? Oh God, I sound like that programme. Who lives in a house
Who lives in a house like this? So there's me, my husband, and then he's always had a routine with his children, which has carried on for years and years and years. So like the last 15 years since he's been separated from his previous partner. And we've continued with that routine the whole time, whether we've lived in this home or somewhere else. So they're over here, well, as much as they like, really. It's their home as much as it is ours. We see less and less of his son now, because like he's 19 and he's like really cool and he's got a car and everything. Does not want to be with us, you know what I mean? Losers. But his daughter, she's like 16 now, so it's great because I can borrow her makeup, I can borrow her moisturisers, we share things, and it's quite nice. So
you're a stepmom?
It's a good age. Yes, I am a stepmom.
And not an evil one.
And not an evil one, no. Which has been an interesting journey. Did I ever see myself being with someone that had children? Absolutely not. So when I should probably say the reason Dean and I got together is because a friend of ours introduced us. I think I was at the point where I was like at the absolute end of my tether of trying to meet anyone. Honestly, in your mid-30s.
How old were you? How old were you when you met Dean?
So I was 36-ish, just about to turn 37, I think. So quite late on, previous to that, 4 years previous to that, I'd come out of a long-term relationship with somebody. I'd always been in like long-term relationships. You see, this is me and my comfortability factor. When I'm with someone, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, and that's going to be it, you know, forever sort of thing. And isn't that nice? And then it's like, no, this doesn't feel right for whatever reason. Anyway, I came out of a long-term relationship. I was like, do you know what? I'm done with doing long-term relationships. Quite like to be single for a while, and that was fun, you know, mid-30s. But my God, it's hard work, and hats off to anyone that is single and really wants to, you know, find the one, and you're in your mid-30s and you're trying to navigate all that. Oh my gosh, it's hard.
It's tough work, isn't it?
Really tough out there. Like the whole dating app thing, for someone who's not comfortable, and I'm not being in front of like people and an audience and being judged. I'm like,
you're doing blooming well, Sarah.
But yeah, Oh yeah, it was an experience, shall we say?
And at that point, then, so just before you met Dean, put my hand over my mic. 1, 2, 1, 2. At that point, I'd already had 2 kids, hadn't I?
Yeah, no, well, when I met Dean, yeah, sorry, is that what you mean? Not when we first met?
No, when you first met Dean.
Yeah, when
and
I first met Dean.
thought I was having kids late, didn't I? Because I was like 32 when I had the first, and 2 years later when I had little Mr. Sebastian.
Yeah, no, I remember you coming over my flat that I had when I was single in Oxford. I remember you coming over with Chloe. She's so cute. But yeah.
And Sarah's always been like the most amazing person with children, haven't you? You've always had this just magical connection with kids. I'm going to stop that and go on to who's the other resident in this house?
Oh, you mean my dog? So obviously I have a dog, yeah. So Pickle.
Not obviously.
Well, not obviously.
Because you never wanted a dog.
No. So 3 years, she's 3 now. So we got feels like we jumped on the bandwagon of everybody else after lockdown, but we didn't. We'd been thinking about getting a dog. And I suppose for me, it was more important because of, I know I've not gone to it yet, but the journey we'd been on, it was like, it wasn't filling a void so much, but it was having something that, and she does, and pets are just adorable. She's
your baby.
She's my fur baby. Yeah, she is. So they just love you unconditionally, don't they? And it's just, she's beautiful. She's not here today. She's with her dog friends playing with them because
she's a doggy day.
And me and Mum is a bit boring when I'm working. Can't play with her all the time. She's quite demanding. She's a spaniel. So if anyone has a spaniel, know exactly what I mean about separation anxiety and just how needy they are.
Oh, that's when you talk to her.
I know. Dog voice. You've got that though.
I do that.
Talk to your dog with that voice.
I'm going to grab your knee like an
now.
inappropriate manager at work. What I wanted to ask you was, so you're 56 now. Hang on, how old are you?
52.
Is your 50s or 59?
47.
47 now.
47. Just, by the way.
Thinking back then, maybe 10, 20 years ago, what did you expect your life to be like at this age now?
Well, I guess like everyone, I've always wanted the dream, right? Which I get too carried away with fairy tales and movies. I think I've watched too many movies in my life, but I absolutely love movies and films because you can just immerse yourself in them and you think, oh, that's going to be that's my life. Like, I know how much you love Friends and you're like, I want to be a Friends character. I just want to be in their life because it looks so cool and great and, So yeah, I guess I've grown up with a bit of a, well, I'm going to meet somebody and we're going to have children and we're going to live in a nice house and I'll probably have a good job and all that, which, a lot of people probably share that, like, that's where you want to be. But as time has gone on over the years and who I've met, where I've lived, the decisions I've made, I'm like, oh, actually, maybe I'm not going to quite get that. And then obviously I did find it, but late on. And obviously in finding, like, somebody that you want to spend your life with quite late on, meant we didn't, the whole kind of starting a family.
Can we talk about babies?
Didn't come up until late. Yeah. So I'd never even given having children too much thought because I just thought it will happen one day.
Because you thought that it would happen.
Yeah, like it'll happen one day.
And I always thought it would because how could someone like Sarah, who's so maternal and so amazing with kids, not have a baby?
No, I just thought, I should add as well as your beautiful children. I have 2 nieces and a nephew as well.
You do.
Which I've spent a lot of time with over the years. And and I've just thought, oh yeah, that'll be me one day, we're gonna have children. And I guess I'd never really I didn't. Until we started trying, I'd not spoke to anyone about that. No one, no family, no friends. I'd never sat down with you and gone, oh, really struggling to get pregnant, or what's the best way of getting pregnant? Which, like, why would you?
No, exactly.
Why would you do that? Because you just think you're going to get pregnant and you're going to have a child.
Yeah.
You don't really question it. And
unless you're someone that really, really doesn't want kids, you just think, yes, that's right, I'll meet someone, then I'll have a baby.
Yeah, and some people don't, and that's their choice of life, and that's completely,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm one of 3, so I guess thinking like genetically, I'm like, why would I not be able to have children? And my brothers have had children as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then it was, when was this? 2017, 2018. So we got married 2017. We started pretty much.
I was a bridesmaid.
Yes, you were. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I guess we'd not given too much thought to it prior to that. And then we made a conscious decision of, no contraception and everything, and then just see what happens. And and I guess that's when it all started to like unravel as actually it's not as easy as just sorry.
Yeah, not as easy as just,
oh, you're just gonna have
the obvious.
And you have a baby.
So how long did you guys try before you went, hang on, there's something a little bit iffy going on here?
I think it was a good year, which
is that a general recommendation?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, right? Because some people I know they're like, oh yeah, we've been doing this like 3 months or so now, or whatever, and that's it. I've gone to the doctors and I've had that conversation. I'm like, oh. And then I know others that are, they've tried for 3 years, and only at that point have they gone, oh, something's not right. But with my age,
65.
Yes. I just thought, this is taking a while. Plus, I think we'd naturally started to stop. I can't remember the exact period. I just know in my head, I was like, this is taking a while.
Yeah.
And my husband already had 2 children. And I thought, something's not right.
No, I remember talking to you about that. So that was tricky. That was pretty, pretty heartbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You guys obviously realised that naturally it probably wasn't going to happen, without any help. So you then opted for fertility treatment. But I remember then you couldn't get fertility treatment on the NHS, as many of you with partners with children from before might know. They only get, is it one go with the...
You don't even get one go, Lex. Honestly, and I had no idea, because this wasn't an area of my life I thought I'd be getting into. And I was so angry. I remember when we finally got referred, we went to see a specialist, and one of the questions they said was, they ask your partner if you've got any other children, or if you have any other children. I'm like, no, I don't have other children. My husband has though. Okay. Gosh. Well, you can't get a round of IVF on the NHS.
You get penalised.
So I get penalised because he has children. And honestly, I was so... It's not his fault,
no,
but I was really angry at that, and I remember challenging them when I was in this disappointment, saying, "But that's insane! Like, why am I suffering for that, or why am I not able to take advantage of that when he has children?" Anyway, that is the rules. Some areas that you live in, even, they won't entitle you to have a round. I don't know what it is about geographies and where you are, but I've known people that have moved out of where they've lived so they could go and have a free round on the NHS. I don't understand all these crazy rules. It feels like, why are those rules being made around something which you as an individual, you should be able to make that decision? Why is someone taking that decision out of your hands to be able to help you? I understand it's costly. I totally understand
it. It's not the man's body that did the baby making.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, did you guys have to use a lot of your savings then to pay for the horrendously expensive fertility treatment.
We did, yeah, we did. So it took a while to save some of it up. We eventually, we got referred. It takes a while also, because again, if you've never been and expect to be in this situation, you don't know who to go and talk to.
No, of
like
course.
You've absolutely no idea that these clinics even exist. I'd heard of IVF. I knew of friends that had IVF, but I didn't expect myself to be in that situation, to have to go seek out the right fertility clinic.
And much like things like perimenopause and menopause, it's not been one of those conversations that's always freely and comfortably talked about out in the open.
No,
so
it's not. It's actually it's a very, very lonely place. Being on a fertility journey is very, very lonely. I mean, don't be wrong, there's forums, there's all that. I tried with that sort of thing. Everyone's journey is so different and so unique. And I think for that reason, people actually find it quite hard to then start sharing everything with everybody else, because, everyone is like, everyone's story is just very different.
And also, you're very unlikely in one person's group of friends to find someone who's also gone through it. So it's, who do you talk to? Because you and I would obviously normally talk about everything, and you and your absolute sister pal Jane would also put the world to rights. But if neither of us have been through a fertility treatment journey, then how the heck would we know how to support you, apart from the obvious, which is telling you we love you and we'll always be there for you.
Yeah.
So I can 100% see how isolating that must have been for you, my sweets. And then the actual physical act of going through it is horrific, isn't it?
Yeah. As in the IVF treatment. Yeah. I mean, that was that was really, really tough. And again, you sit there. I mean, we were told there was a limited chance because of age. Now, at this point, I have to say, I was, 42, 41, 41-ish. So only just in my 40s. I knew of the menopause at that point, right? And this is wrong to perhaps say this now, but my knowledge of the menopause was, that's something that happens when you're in your 50s and your periods stop. So,
absolutely.
And at that point, you're not even in fact, at no point when we went to see any specialists or were having conversations about this, age came into it, and it is a big factor with fertility, but you don't really understand why. You're just like, oh, right, I'm a bit old, and, my eggs are a bit worn or whatever. The chances get slim or whatever.
Dried up.
I'm all dried up.
You're not.
But no one says, the chances are as well you might be bordering perimenopause. The very first time I heard someone say perimenopause, right? Because I did not know, and this is so ignorant of me now, but I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know, I suppose. We were all out on a night. We were on a night out in Oxford with the usual kind of girlfriends, and I remember you actually saying, and there was someone else in the group as well, that, I think I'm perimenopausal, and I was thinking, perimenopausal, what's that?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was thinking, I don't know what that is. And then you started to talk about it, and I'm like, oh.
Well, unless you're immersed in that world or you've dipped a toe in it because it started, why would you know? Like, I would know Jacko about infertility and how that goes, because I've never had to face it. So it's like, don't ever say things like, I was ignorant. You weren't. You just weren't, because you weren't in it yet. No. You weren't exposed to it. We've slightly sort of skipped over it, but your fertility treatment wasn't successful, basically. And because of the finances, the money you'd already spent, and the emotional, physical torment that you went through, correct me if I'm wrong, you decided not to pursue it any further.
Yeah, and it was definitely more the latter bit, the strain on your body, and the emotions. I've got footage back from then on my phone of me, because I didn't know who to speak to about just how
going in with the arm.
How the medication you take just affects you. And we didn't even get to do a second round because of the issues they uncovered. Like, I took the meds 3 times in total. I've still got eggs in the freezer, as they put it. there's still eggs there, but I'm not going anywhere now. My goodness. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. And to be told as well, time and time again, it's not going to be successful. It's not.
So you had this...
You're not going to make me cry. Not on this.
I wasn't giving you a cuddle to make you cry.
But I will. So stop it. Cry, bitch. She's not going to make me cry.
Yeah.
So... yes. So yeah, so we stopped it. Yeah, so we stopped, and
I remember that was a quite obviously huge decision for you.
Very, because
you're ending your chance of being a mum.
Yeah.
I'm going to say goodbye to something that I know as one of my closest friends, that was just all you wanted, wasn't it? To carry your own baby. Like everyone's always said, oh, you could adopt, or oh, look, you're a stepmom, which is an amazing thing to be a stepmom. But you wanted to carry your own baba in your tummy, didn't you? And go through what most of your good friends have gone through, which is to have your own baby. You said I wouldn't make you cry, but actually... You alright? Do you want to stop?
No, I'm fine.
Do you want to stop for a minute?
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
I'm alright, yeah. It's
a grief process, isn't it?
It is. It is grieving. It is grieving. And I don't think there's no point that you just go, okay, hard stop, that's it. Never going to try. It's weird. Sort of, I think I switched gears a little bit in my brain, and I was like, okay, we're parking it. And it's like, well, you can't park it for too long, Sarah. It's not, things aren't medically going to change for you. This is going to be really tough. You've got to make a decision. So you do kind of stop it. Well, you have to. But the desire, as you say, to be a mum is never going to go away. And it's weird because birthdays are harder now because it's just a reminder of, oh, you're old and you can't have a baby. But I don't think I actually truly properly understand the reasons for not being able to have one. And that's the only thing I could talk about is for so much, Lex. There's so much just generally around that subject.
And if you don't mind, I hope that we can't fit everything into this. This is a huge subject. So Sarah has now agreed, even though she didn't realise it just now, to do this again and talk about this more.
Yeah,
but I think we should honour the subject.
I think so. It deserves it. It really does deserve it.
But also talk about the whole why me.
Yeah.
Why isn't my body good enough in comparison to other people's? And I'm saying that because I know that Sarah said it before. I'm not saying it because I'm making an assumption on how she feels.
No, oh my God, no, I've beaten myself up for it. I've not been able to talk to people. I've shut it off. I've shut people off. I've blamed my husband. I think the worst thing I probably did was completely shut down about talking to anyone about it. And then no one talked about it anymore. And that was it. And then the next phase of your life you're in now is, perimenopause.
So then,
Sorry, I sniffed then.
That's disgusting. Get tissue. Compose yourself, Sarah.
Okay.
Again, we... Sorry.
The microphone.
Shut your compose, Sarah.
These are really good, by the way, aren't they?
Aren't they? They look fluffy.
Yeah.
We will, if Sarah is kind enough to give me her time, we will go into more depth, I think, with the whole fertility and grieving side of things. But
happy to.
Today, I just would like to move on to, so you've had one form of sort of grieving for your fertility, for your lack of, therefore. And then you hit, like you just saying, perimenopause. How long do you think you've been experiencing your symptoms for?
I think it's now 2 years, and my God, that's gone quick. I'm saying I think, because I don't quite, you and I have had this conversation. It's like, at what point do you just go, right, I'm in perimenopause? And this is a whole different phase of life to navigate as well. And you've opened my eyes up so much.
Because I'm so shy about talking
I know you
about
are. You know, it's very hard to get information from you. It's weird, right? I was on we were on holiday abroad, and I just felt, I went on, so this was like June, I think it was. Previous to that, I think I felt okay. And anyway, we went on holiday and I woke up one morning and I thought, oh. And I just felt, I can't describe it. No. I was just like,
I get
and
it.
Everything, like being in a bikini, everything was irritating me. Everything was, it was just, I just felt, And I came back off that holiday and thought, I didn't really enjoy that. Why didn't I not enjoy it? And it was from that, and I can remember it. And I remember coming back going, just don't feel.
God, I can really
right.
relate to that. You can't, you just, the enjoyment out of things that would normally be joyful is sucked out of it,
and
isn't
I'm like,
it?
why am I doing that? This is a nice holiday, spending some time together. Yeah, I was really, really hard on myself about my body. The other thing is, we've not talked about this is the Crohn's disease stuff as well. Oh my God. There's a whole series here.
You're an entire series.
So yeah, like the whole bloat for me was the bloating.
Got Crohn's as well.
I got Crohn's as well to add to that. There's been no like actual connection between Crohn's and infertility or anything like that, or it being worse for you during a perimenopause either. Although I don't know.
Really short.
Short. Shut your face.
No, come on.
So it was like the biggest thing I noticed was I've never been a great sleeper, but the insomnia was like, my God, suddenly off the charts.
Yeah.
The bloating. So we've joked about this in the past, right? I've always been the one that I was, I'm not bothered about my stomach so much. It's always been my thighs or ass or whatever. Yeah. And I've dealt with my stomach and I've managed my diet and everything, and and then I woke up and suddenly I'm like, what is it?
Oh, put that there.
Hold on. There's an extra tire. There's more bloating. I feel really, what is happening?
And Sarah is petite. So
I'm not.
For her to notice. You are.
I'm just short.
Yeah, she is. But for her to notice anything extra on her body, sometimes we call it body dysmorphia, but actually Sarah was genuinely.
We're going to have to re-record after this.
No, we're not. This is the best bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that, and but I've been in denial. I've been in denial for ages. And I think I'm just like, life is hard, right? So I'm losing sleep because life is a bit tough. We have family things go on and issue and work and all that, there's like life troubles, and you think, no.
And we have been talking about it. She's got a lot more symptoms than that.
I have.
But
in the last year.
We have talked about it, and Sarah and I, when we stay over maybe for a night somewhere, she watches me slap my estrogen on, and we have a chat about it. But to me, I'm not a professional, it's screamingly obvious that Sarah is on her perimenopausal journey. But what is holding you back from seeking any type of support, help, be it supplementary, what's the word I'm looking for when it's natural? Holistic. Or HRT?
Well, I guess going back, one of the biggest things is going back to what we were just talking about is I didn't put a final stop on the whole fertility treatment, even though I knew it wasn't going to ever really happen for us. So hitting perimenopause for me was like, oh wow, hit me in the face, that's it. For me, it's now, you have to accept that journey is over. So yeah, that's the hardest.
By fully facing perimenopause, if I could put into words what I think Sarah has said to me before, your body is saying, that's it, the doors are closed. Yeah. You're never gonna be having a baby, and fuck you, Sarah.
Yep, definitely not the natural way. It was saying, I mean, my body's been through an awful lot, and it's very tough. We should all be more appreciative of our bodies and what they can do. We forget. But yeah, I was like, damn.
I love all this gratitude stuff that we have to be like, oh, my body's great. And and our bodies are amazing, but you're also allowed to feel,
It's
grief.
unfair.
You're allowed to say that out
It's
loud.
unfair.
It's unfair. Why couldn't Sarah have, why couldn't Sarah carry a baby? Why couldn't she become pregnant? Why? And I've had babies, but if there's one person I wanted to have a baby as much as you did yourself, it's me wanting you to have one, because I just know that and I know that's what you craved and what you yearned for.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Do you know what you might do moving forward?
With the perimenopause treatment, I think I know what I need to do, because the symptoms have got far worse. I mean, I've got it, everything is like all the classic now. The brain fog is terrible. My memory's terrible.
Yeah, Sarah.
Oh my God, yes. Thank you. Do you know what? I've tried really hard not to.
I did my post about you. I'll show it to you in a minute.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I've been... I did put Vaseline in, as you said. I don't do it. I can't touch my ears, because it will just start. It's like a weird habit, strange. But the itchy ears, of which the doctor, I went to see 2 doctors.
Honestly, I've done a post. Everyone's been like, it's mental.
Oh my God. And they looked at me, female doctor, similar age as well, I think, and just went, no, that's not something that's associated with perimenopause. I'm like, okay then. Would you do that information? Anyway, yeah, so that, the tiredness, oh my gosh, the moods. It's all there, all the symptoms are there, but part of me's like, no, just hang on a little bit longer before you hit that phase, because that's hard, that's acceptance, and I don't really want to accept it.
Accepting that that journey is...
Yeah, and here we are now.
Yeah,
officially accepting it, I suppose. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
There's loads more, as we've just discovered, to talk about, and I think it was a bit naive of me to think that we could unpack everything in one sesh. And there's loads more I've learned about my friend today, that we share everything. But like, how many of us actually fully disclose and talk about what's in our head? I mean, yeah. But thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
You could have cried a bit more on camera, but anyway.